Chennedy alluded to, what we love about Caitlin is the same thing that we love about Diana Taurasi, the all-time leading scorer in the WNBA.
She was signed to the Chicago Sky with Teresa Weatherspoon, with Angel Reese, with Camila Cardoso, and, you know, the rest of the folks.
Chennedy Carter did to Caitlin Clark on that one play. But you have to call a spade a spade. It was a cheap shot. But if we're speaking on what the entire sequence of events were...
Remember when Chennedy Carter was called the future of women's basketball? Now she can't even find a team willing to sign her after that Caitlin Clark incident. 4 teams have already dropped her. And the most shocking part? Even her friend Angel Reese wants nothing to do with her anymore. See, one moment of losing control didn't just cost Carter a game, it might have cost her entire career. Her teammates literally begged management to get rid of her. I'm going to show you exactly what happened during that game, why the WNBA can't afford to have players like her around Caitlin Clark, and how Carter's no regrets attitude became the final nail in her professional coffin. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
That probably has one of the shortest fuses in the WNBA. Yes, why do I know that? I played with her.
Her filthy thug hands on WNBA player Caitlin Clark. I knew then her future was...
You've seen the clip 1,000 times. Chennedy Carter shoving Caitlin Clark during that heated Chicago Sky game. But what led to that explosive moment? The game was electric from the start. Wintrust Arena was packed to capacity, with fans spilling into standing room areas just to catch a glimpse of the rookie phenom facing Chicago. The national broadcast cameras were fixed on Clark's every move, something that didn't go unnoticed by the other players, especially Carter. As the game progressed, you could literally watch Carter's frustration building like a pressure cooker. Clark was having herself a game, draining threes over Carter's outstretched arms, executing perfect step-back jumpers, and worst of all, beating her off the dribble with those crafty handles that made the crowd erupt each time.
Tyler Marsh did the press conference. He talked about Angel Reese, he talked about Cardoso, who I think is going to be a star.
The league as the top dog in college, and now professional players whom you're going up against want to show you why they are on top.
With every ooh and ah from the fans, Carter's expression darkened. The body language told the whole story before the push even happened. Carter's jaw was visibly clenched, her shoulders hunched forward, eyes narrowed to slits as she followed Clark around the court. One courtside reporter noted she was muttering to herself after Clark hit back-to-back threes in the third quarter. It wasn't just competitive fire, this was something different. Then came the moment. Clark had just finished a beautiful assist to a teammate when she jogged back on defense, not even looking Carter's way. That's when Carter took her path directly into Clark, extending both arms in a forceful shove that sent the rookie stumbling backward. The arena went silent for a split second, before erupting in shocked gasps and boos. Clark's reaction says everything. Not anger, not even irritation, just pure confusion. She looked at Carter with a "what was that for?" expression that perfectly captured how unprovoked the whole thing was. One scout sitting courtside later commented, "It wasn't just the push, it was the energy behind it. That was personal."
And you're playing against somebody like me, I classify myself as a dog. So if you're gonna throw a punch, then I'm gonna compete with you. I'm gonna play at the level that you're.
Like, did y'all forget all of the events that transpired last year with her and Caitlin Clark? And then she refused to own up to what she did.
Now on this path, there will be some moments, and I think a perfect example is from whom you just saw, Chennedy Carter. But I think also to learn from this situation,
that personal energy wasn't just aimed at Caitlin Clark. It was the same toxic vibe that had already poisoned 4 different WNBA locker rooms. What most fans don't realize is that before Carter ever stepped on court with Clark, her Chicago Sky teammates were already meeting behind closed doors with management, desperately trying to get her removed from the roster. This wasn't just about one heated moment. It was the breaking point after months of tension. Carter's reputation as a locker room problem child goes way deeper than most people know. During her time with the Atlanta Dream, things got so bad that she reportedly wanted to physically fight her teammate Courtney Williams. Why? Because Williams had the audacity to call Carter out for not supporting her teammates. Can you imagine being so toxic that your own team suspends you mid-season and publicly labels you a detriment to team culture? That's management's polite way of saying this player is absolute poison.
In the WNBA, but he did not really mention Chennedy Carter at all, and that raised a lot of eyebrows.
One Sky coach Teresa Witherspoon called the play inappropriate and said Carter and the team will learn from the incident.
The pattern followed Carter everywhere she went. One Chicago Sky coach didn't mince words, admitting that Carter poisoned the locker room atmosphere from day one. Her teammates couldn't even stand being around her. The situation got so bad that Angel Reese, who many considered Carter's closest ally in the league, publicly unfollowed her right after the Clark incident. That's the basketball equivalent of your best friend blocking your number. But here's the craziest part. The Chicago Sky didn't just bench Carter after the push. They refused to even offer her a qualifying contract when they had the chance. Think about that. She was a double-digit scorer, yet the team basically said, we'd rather have nobody than have her. In the WNBA, where talent usually gets you second and third chances, Carter's teammates were showing her the door. You know what's even more stunning than your own team not wanting you back? When not a single one of the other 11 WNBA teams will touch you either. What turned Carter from just a locker room problem into complete league-wide kryptonite wasn't the push. It was what she did afterward that has executives saying they wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole.
Carter shoulder checked Caitlin Clark from behind, knocked her down before the basketball was inbounded. A common foul was called, but the WNBA on Sunday upgraded.
Like the push that was heard around the world has cost WNBA player Chennedy Carter her career.
They talk trash, and they have the game to back it up. Caitlin was just named Rookie of the Month, averaging 17 points per game and 6 assists.
Carter had the perfect opportunity to save her career during the post-game interview. All she needed was a simple, "I apologize," or "I lost my cool." Instead, she sat there with arms crossed and eyes rolling, looking like someone who believed she was the victim in all this. Her body language screamed defiance as she doubled down with zero remorse. This wasn't just a bad look, it was career suicide in real time. But wait, it gets worse. Instead of letting things cool down, Carter decided to pour gasoline on the fire with her social media response. She posted, "I love the hate more than the love. I'd rather you hate me than love me." And just like that, what might have been a one-day story transformed into a full-blown career crisis. Here's the business reality that Carter completely missed. She didn't just push any player, she attacked the Golden Goose during the WNBA's biggest growth explosion ever. The numbers are insane. With Clark on the court, the Indiana Fever have seen over 200,000 additional fans attending their games this season. League merchandise sales are up over 500% compared to last year, with player jerseys skyrocketing by 1,000%. The league is taking notice too. They're reportedly discussing stricter disciplinary measures, specifically designed to protect star players following this incident. Why? Because executives understand what Carter didn't.
I don't know why people be so surprised. Oh my God, Chennedy Carter deserved a play. Why?
And it was just like one of those things that was in the heat of the moment. You know, I don't know Caitlin. I don't know her from anywhere. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, this is hoops. It's competitive.
You don't mess with the player who's driving your entire business forward. So is this the end of Chennedy Carter's WNBA journey? The path to redemption exists, but sports psychologists point to a critical missing piece in her situation: accountability. Unlike other WNBA players who've successfully returned from similar controversies, Carter hasn't taken that crucial first step of a public apology or shown any remorse for her actions. The silence speaks volumes. Currently, Carter remains unsigned with no team willing to take a chance on her talent because the character concerns outweigh the basketball skills, and that's the real lesson here. In today's WNBA, your behavior matters just as much as your jump shot. The league has evolved past the point where raw talent alone can secure your position. What's most telling is Carter's complete absence from public statements about her future plans. No interviews, no social media announcements about working on herself, Nothing. It's like watching a career fade in real time, and all because she couldn't acknowledge a simple truth, that actions have consequences, especially when they're broadcast to millions of fans.